Hello, guys. Welcome back once again to this new tarot reading. This time it's about Ateez member Mingi. I think this is how it's pronounced. And especially since we know that he is the one that it's absent, that is not participating in the current comeback. Let's see if we can get a little bit about his energy and current situation, and hopefully what the 3 to 6 months bring out for him. So I'm going to start with the archetype card, and for him I had 4 cards because I usually pick only 3, but there was this one that jumped out that wanted to be there, so I included it. So the archetype cards that came out for him were the artist, the dilettante, the professor, and the storyteller. So obviously, he's an artist, and he's really he has this ability to really connect with music in a very profound way, and also to be an inspiration for others. He also has a lot of like he has this star aura around him. It's like he looks really good in stage. He has a lot of charisma, and I think that's one of his many attributes as an artist. Because you know that when we talk about the artist archetype, it can go different ways because we cannot put a label about how what an artist is about, because it depends a lot about the person's influences, about the person's taste, about the person's relationship with music, or with the kind of craft that they dedicate themselves to. So I believe that in the case of Mingi, it's all about performance. I have seen his birth chart placements, and I've seen that he's obviously a Leo, a Leo sun with a moon in Cancer. So he's obviously has like this celebrity status in because he's a Leo, and we know that Leo energy, it's all about shining for others and also inspiring others to get connected with their own shining. So he definitely stands out physically, and his whole body language and his whole posture, it's very appealing for the audience. So that's how he, uh, besides his rapping and other skills, but I think the one that stands out the most is that he shines like a sun. So he is very Leo in that sense. He was born to be on a stage. So it's a good calling, a good profession for him. And then we have the dilettante. Um, and the dilettante, it also talks about this ability to learn a lot of activities, and to learn a lot of maybe a lot of I don't know, learning to play a lot of instruments, or learning different kinds of crafts, but not specializing in one in particular. So it's like he has this ability. He's a quick learner, um but at the same time is he doesn't have like a specialty, like you say, oh, he is good only at this, or he is excellent at this. He can be he can have a lot of knowledge, and different facets, different sides of himself, which is also very useful when you are a performer, or when you are like a singer, or a celebrity. I don't know why, but I feel like he could have like um acting skills. Like I don't know a lot about him. I don't and since I haven't seen him with the rest of the boys, it's like I also couldn't, like I didn't have time to watch him or watch videos where he was, so I could get a glimpse about what his energy is about. But I'm going to guide through my intuition. So I feel like he could be a good actor. I don't know why, but I have this. Um, and he also has the archetype of the professor and the storyteller. So besides him being really like having like a lot of different interests, and it's like he's a quick learner. He learns really quick, like the important aspects of different activities. It's like he masters them really quickly. He's a quick learner. And at the same time, he has this ability to put it into words. It's like he, maybe if he had the experience to go to, I don't know, a course of, I don't know, about painting, it's like he's able to translate, to um, to offer his knowledge and of his experience to others. He can put it into words. It's not that he's someone that maybe absorbed that ability like intuitively, and maybe it's something really personal to his energy, and he cannot share it with others because it's something that is very sensual. So it's like he learned it through his sense, and it's like it's not easy for him to um, share it, because it's like he only understands it. I mean, I have that when it comes to tarot, for example. Everyone is like, oh, you should teach how to read tarot, and I'm like, no, because I actually, I mean, I had done courses, I had read books, I have had practice, but everything I had learned with tarot, it's a personal experience of mine that I cannot tell you how to do it. I cannot reproduce my whole experience for you to, at least not in a rational way, for you to be like, oh yes, I'm going to do that too. Because it's personal, because it's about intuition, and intuition can be like expressed. It depends on the openness, and it depends on the level of consciousness of the person. So, but in the case of him, that we are talking about him, he could be really good professor because he has a lot of knowledge, and at the same time the ability to share it, to deliver it. And also, since the last card, that this was the one that jumped out, is the storyteller. So when you're a storyteller, basically that you have the ability to tell stories, the ability to make up stories. So um, I don't know why, but I found it funny that this one jumped out after Professor. Because if I have to guide or what I think I'm seeing here is um, that maybe sometimes he tends to make things up. Like sometimes he tends to add a little bit of making his anecdotes or his stories a little more dramatic than they already are. It's like he tends to add details that maybe are not true or are not accurate. So, and if I have to um, mix it and put it all together with artist and diligent, I have the feeling that he may, I don't know if maybe it was in his in when he was casted as a trainee, that maybe they asked him about if he knew about what were his skills, or maybe his experience, or what what capacities he had, and he lied a little bit about it, about the things he knew. Maybe he said a little little lies about, yes, I have experience in this and I'm good at this, and I did a training in this, and maybe it wasn't entirely truth, because the storyteller has this, yes, this ability to tell stories, but sometimes it's also the ability to make up stories about ourselves. And sometimes, I'm not saying he's a liar, but sometimes it's like to disguise the reality into a much nicer version. I don't know if maybe it could also be related to his background, or maybe to his family, or where he comes from. To be like, yes, I was born in a really happy family, for example. And actually that not being true. It's like, because we also know that Leo energy, it's all about um being an actor, also being a performer, and sometimes when they have this ability to shine, sometimes that they tend to push away everything that is not nice, or any signs that of weakness, or maybe some flaws. It's like they try to hide it under the carpet, so he can personify this perfect entertainer. That's why they are good actors, because they have this ability to act, and to put on a mask, and to put on a very beautiful mask. Sometimes Leo's people, they sometimes try to disguise so much the reality that then eventually, when you get to know them, you realize that despite of them being really handsome, of them being really successful, and of them being really talented and being really admired by others, they have really low self-esteem, and they have a lot of uh, self-acceptance and self-love issues, that maybe because you see them on screen, you're like, oh no, I cannot believe this person has these issues. Yes, he does. So this is what I'm I'm picking from here, because I find it funny that he not funny. I find it is intriguing. I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to see if this gives me information about his current mental health issue. I think it's anxiety that he has. So I'm wondering if this has to do with all, maybe, about this tendency to not tell everything about himself, or to keep some information. Maybe it's about his mental issue. Maybe there's like there's something hereditary in his family, or maybe he had been dealing with this since he was younger, and somehow when he became a trainee, he tried to cover it up with showing himself really confident and strong and powerful. So it's like disguising into someone else's suit. It's like putting on someone else's shoes, for example. It's like he had been playing a persona that he is not, and suddenly the stress, and the long hours of working, and everything that they have done to get to where they are right now, had an effect on his perception of reality. Because once you make a lie, or once you reserve information, you know that the more time it passes, it gets worse, because you have to continue lying, to make that first lie that you said believable. So I believe that he had kept a few details about his, maybe his health, or maybe about his background, so he could get picked for so he could get picked by his, actually his talent, and not his, for example, his health issues. So he wanted to be selected, he wanted to be casted. So, and he's not the first person that does it. I mean, we have seen there are a lot of people that lie, and there are a lot of people that we always see it in job interviews, where we sometimes skip some details, or where we sometimes make information up in order to get the job. So it's about this. um, and also I was paying attention that he has a moon in Cancer. So Cancer moon, it's really intuitive, but at the same time um it's really like susceptible to get everyone's vibes. Like he can get like carried away by other people's moods. And also it's it's just being really sensitive. So maybe if there's something he was hiding, he wasn't able to hide it for so long, because this intuitive nature, this soft nature, this water moon is asking him to connect with his emotions. And if he has trouble dealing with emotions, especially with negative emotions, they are going to start to manifest. And anxiety, it's one of those many symptoms, because he feels pressure. It's like he cannot keep up. So he needs to be true to himself. So he needs to be, because I have the feeling that this thing that he's going through is not physical, but it translates. I mean, his distress, his level of anxiety, his level of feeling too vulnerable affects his physical body. It's like he starts to feel weird symptoms. For example, being not able to breathe, or being not able to get out of bed, or being like having strong headaches, or these are like symptoms that his whole emotions are taking over his body. And it's like, you cannot continue this way. Because I was watching that the other members have, I think, three of them besides Mingi have moon in Cancer. So they are, two of them besides Mingi have moon in Cancer, and one of them is a Cancer, that is Sun. So I was wondering, I was like, but if, since they have both, I mean, a lot of them share this moon in Cancer, and nevertheless I don't see them that emotional or that stressed. I actually like, I get this very playful, um this very like this very playful vibe. So I don't understand why Mingi, why him. And he also has this Mars in Scorpio that tells me that he will be able to overcome this. Of course he will be able, but first he has to get help, because maybe it's about this this fear of public, this sudden fear of public, fear of to be in the front of a scenario, um this kind of like you have this anxiety attack when you are in front of a large crowd. It can happen because moon in Cancers also are really sensitive, highly sensitive. So when they are sometimes surrounded by too much people, they get really stressed. But there's something, like I said, there's something here that I don't know what it comes from, but it's something about him that his emotions are telling him, you cannot go on like this. It's like there's something he has to say. There's something hidden here that triggered all of this. So let's pray for him that he gets better soon, and that I'm sure he's getting the help he needs. I'm pretty sure he's getting the help he needs. But that's what he needs, maybe, to have a very private space where he can talk about what's going on, what triggered this, what do you have to say, what do you want to say about this, because I just don't understand how all this really affected him so much. And maybe it affected him so much because he had been keeping it inside for so long that it had become self-destructive. So let's move on to his cards. The tarot cards that came out for him is the Ten of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Sun, the Five of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. A lot of cups, like I said, typical moon in Cancer. A lot of emotions, a lot of, he's really emotional. But at the same time, he has all this energy inside of him. It's like he wants to get out of this state he's in, and he wants to go back to performing again. It's like he's feeling more anxious still, because it's like he wants to go back on stage. He wants to perform with the boys. He really wants to go back. He really wants to go back. But he has to be patient with himself so he does not go back to having these anxiety attacks. Um, so what I see in the first road is that he definitely feels really, like I said in the Ateez reading that I did, he definitely feels really nostalgic. It's like he wants to share with them, and at the same time he feels guilty. He's really emotional, and at the same time there's a part of him that is really angry at himself. It's like he really wants to go out and just um, in, get himself involved in the process physically. He wants to be there, or maybe he wants to go see them. He wants to, I don't know if he's in his parents' house or if he's somewhere else, but it's like he wants to go, he wants to move, he wants to move his body. But there's something that because of different, maybe he's taking medication, and this prevents him from like doing these harsh moves with his body, like being dizzy and stuff. um but he definitely wants to go out. He's really, I don't know if he had talked with someone that was like promised him that he would be able to go back really soon, and he's really excited with that. He's like with his engines turned on. He's like ready to go. um and the other is the Sun, the Five of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. So yes, there's something hiding behind him, and he feels really guilty about it. He will have to um take over this situation and being able to talk about it. He cannot hide it anymore. um there's something hidden behind his um this image that he portrayed, this image of confidence that he had portrayed. Or maybe he didn't even want it to be this confident, or to play this concept or role that they gave him, and somehow he just took it anyway, and he was like forced to do it, because I believe he's really sensitive. He's like a really sensitive guy. He's like really sensitive, but with a deep rapper voice. I know that he has like this distinguished voice, but it's like I see him as a romantic. I don't know why, but it's like I have the feeling that he's just the sweetest guy and that he's really sensitive. So I don't know why they, it's like they train him to be this, trying to look badass and try to look, oh yes, I'm going to take over the world, you know. And he's like, yes, at first he was, yes, but then he felt a little bit like out of energy, like he couldn't keep up with that image. Because, and I feel sad for him because I have this feeling of, I have this image of him like smiling but at the same time crying inside. I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that once the this anxiety started to kick in, he was like, he was, maybe he was smiling at one moment and the next he was crying, but crying nonstop. And it obviously affected the other members because they were like, what's going on with you? Like he acted like he was really depressed. And that's why I don't know if it's an anxiety attack or he's actually depressed. But he had these mood swings where he would go from happy to really miserable. um, and it had happened to him almost in camera too. I have the feeling that it happened to him in a public event, and I don't know if it's recorded or not, but I have the feeling that everyone was like freaking out because like you cannot cry here. So he's like, and also this like this, like I was saying, this stardom, this is star quality that he has, that he really stands out from the others. So if he starts crying, I believe that the fans will notice, or maybe people around them will notice. So it's like he tries to, he tried to act accordingly to the concept that he had about being tough and about being confident. But there were times where he felt really miserable and he would just cry out of nowhere. I don't know why, but it just happened. So now that I believe that if he wants to return, they will put certain conditions to him. It's like they will have a conversation with him, they will sit him down and they will be like, okay, because I have the feeling that they had evaluated him psychologically, evaluated him, and they are like, okay, these are your weaks and your strong points, so we have to start treating them one by one by one. So I believe that maybe one of the conditions is for him to keep going to therapy. I don't know how therapy works in, or counseling works in South Korea, but I don't know why, but I'm seeing that he has they are going to give him a lot of tasks, and probably one of the tasks is to have medicine. I mean to uh, consume this medicine for his anxiety, and also to go to therapy, and also do like a lot of inner work. It's not going to be like they are going to just let him go back to stay just like this. They are going to keep monitoring him, like they are going to be really, I don't know if one of the staff is going to be like really pendant, or really like watching him, like just making sure that he's okay. But it's serious actually, because it's not a physical illness, it's a mind illness. It's like it's an emotional illness. So it's like they have to pay attention because anything can trigger it. So they will he will have to work a lot. He, because it's like now he's feeling a little bit better, so he's like, he is almost like he forgot that he was sad. And also I believe that medicines also have effects on him. But he needs, yes, he needs to take things slowly. And the last cards that came out for him is the two of cups and the queen of cups. So I don't know why, but I'm feeling that love is in the air or is going to be in the air for him. I don't know if maybe through this transformation that he's going through, or going through this therapy and stuff, he is going to meet someone that he can click with, he can connect with in an emotional level. And it's like this woman is going to help him, but it's not just a random woman, or like saying, oh, she's his therapist, she's a female therapist. No, it's someone that is going to be influential for him, but it's also going to be a love interest, because there's the two of cups there. So I don't know if maybe it's going to be one-sided, because maybe, I don't know, it can be his therapist that he will start to develop feelings for her because of the connection, because this happens, and this is called transference feelings, when you are in a one-on-one uh, therapy session. Sometimes the client sometimes starts to develop feelings for you. In my case, that I'm a counselor, and I had male consultants, male clients. They had at first they experienced some kinds of feelings towards me because of the connection we shared. But then eventually they realized that this is, and besides, it's a duty of the therapist to be able to guide them along. And if you see that they are starting to develop feelings, it's like you to be able to make them understand that that's because of the closeness of the bond, of the connection, because through empathy we can connect and we can heal. So maybe if in your life, if you never had someone that listened to you or paid attention to you, the first time you go to a therapy lesson and you have this time and this place and this confidentiality to open up and being vulnerable, of course there could be some feelings involved in there. But from our professional side, we are trained to not, um, not let those things interfere into the task or the work that we are doing. Because yes, we are all human, but we are professionals, so we don't flirt with our clients. um, but maybe it's this, because since it's a queen, I believe that she's younger, older than him, but there's going to be like a connection, and he is going to be, um, he's going to feel really nice. Maybe he needs that. Maybe he needs this that I was speaking about, as I was talking about. Maybe he needs this connection. Maybe he needs someone to talk to. Maybe he needs to, like like because since we're talking about this storyteller, it's like he needs a space where he can tell his story, but tell the real version, like the real version. And sometimes it means to go deeper, sometimes it means to um, sometimes go into the past and remember things that maybe we don't want to remember, or just reliving things that sometimes are too painful, because none of these things is like happened just because you are under a lot of stress. Something happened prior, a long time ago, and that's why you had those feelings. So, guys, I'm going to leave it here because it obviously was a really emotional um, reading, um, but I'm happy that he's getting the help he needs. I feel really happy that they are taking seriously the idol's mental health, and that they are giving them the time out that they need, because if it was this young men and women that suffer these kinds of conditions, if it were up to them, they would still be working, that would still be uh, presenting themselves and going on tours until they collapse and they cannot deal with anything anymore, because it's like they they are young and they are always in a rush, and they are always feeling so grateful for what they have, so it's hard for them to stop. So I'm glad that the adults, the responsible people of the company, are taking the time to look at their idols' mental state and being like, no, you need to stop a little bit. You are not okay. We have to take care of this. So I'm really happy this is Mingi's opportunity. So as you always know, guys, I always welcome feedback, as long as it's always with in a respectful manner. And as you know, if you don't agree and if you feel like this is not your view about about your um, about your idol situations, of course you have to take this tarot reading is just a tarot reading, and it's for entertainment purposes. I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm entertaining you. It just means that I always say, to be really accurate in a tarot reading, I need to have the permission of the person I'm reading to. Nevertheless, the messages are delivered. So it's up to you to be able to say, oh, yes, I think I can see a little bit about this. I think it's maybe the case, or maybe I feel like this is nonsense, and I feel like this has nothing to do with what this man is going through. So I always welcome different points of view, and I always advise you to guide yourself through your own intuition and through your own sense of your own critical thinking. Just take what resonates with you, and if it doesn't, just leave it, because we're talking about someone's circumstances here. So it's like we can speculate, but we don't know the whole truth. So, and probably we will never know it. So let's always pray that they get better and that we can get to see them, and that everything goes back to normal, and that they can be really successful and can work together as a group in the near future. So I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye guys.